schooling for Shaw. He took a bunch of notes. He came out and he's been on point. And we're going to talk a little bit about him during the main. Just a great run for him. Sport Mod, John Henry. That's another guy in the 68 in the Sport Mod class.
That's a driver. That's a driver up there at Sunset.
He went, and we first started, at the beginning of the season, we had the first couple practices, and he literally told me that he was just, he didn't know what to do. Bar car is totally different from a street stock, totally different from pure stock, totally different. He's taken some notes. Some people has helped him. Now, this is the guy, the last 2 weeks that they've been out, has been the guy that's been up front. Hands down. The man he's starting to relax a little bit more too. He's another one that's, got behind the wheel.
Well, I think we're at that point in the season now where guys are kind of over that anxiety of, season's, starting.
Right.
And now we've got enough lap time, enough seat time in the race cars. Guys are calming down, like you're saying, and the racing's getting better and better.
Oh, it's getting way better. I mean, this is awesome. And then the pure stock, Trevor LaBar.
No surprise. He is fun to watch. Those pure stocks are fun. I mean, look at the tires those guys got to run. Those guys got their hands full. They got to manhandle those cars around there.
Carbs, basically DOT spec tire.
Right.
Basically, no weight jacks, no nothing. They are a stock car.
And that they're not easy to drive.
No, not at all.
Guys are, those are race car drivers right there. That's old school racing.
So speaking about, and we started out the night with IMC modified, or the sport mods. Heat race started out, the night. John Henry and Michael Melton would be on the front row, but Henry would get a great jump and pull out to 3 car lengths by the time he was done with, going into turn 3 on the first lap. Chris Frisbee came up. Him and his brother Ken came up. Ken in the 00, Chris in the 17 car. Chris was right there. He came up in the second spot. Didn't really have much for Henry, but tried. And both of those guys kind of pulled away from the track. Henry went off to win the first heat race. Bridgeport Logistics Street Stocks. This was a class, that had a lot of cars and is always so much fun. And we talk about it every week about how much these street stock guys and stuff are so much fun to watch. Heat race number 1 would be a side-by-side battle between Brian Roden and Mark Farah. Farah would pull off the win, from Roden. Those guys together, again, those guys are very, very top-notch and can run door handle every single lap and just make it fun. Make it fun for the fans. Make it fun for me, to talk about, because it changes all the time, and these guys are just awesome. Heat race number 2. Now, the Case clan had a little bit of issues the week prior. Arnie Case got spun out. My deal is that I knew he spun, right? But I didn't think he got hit. He reconfirmed, and after watching the video again and stuff, because we film all the races up there, is that he actually got door slammed. That's what actually spun him. So, we were talking a little bit prior to the race, do my walk around the pits, and he says, no, man, I did. I got slammed. This is where the tire mark is, and this is where. I'm like, okay, so we reconfirmed that, and he did. He actually got door slammed, which spun him. They came out with a vengeance, ready to win. I mean, they are coming back. They know they had fast cars the week prior, and they were determined that they were going to win. This is the clincher. Arnie Case would come out, and he would be by far the strongest car and take the lead over James Baker by 3.553 seconds. He won that by nearly a half a track.
You're saying that he was ahead of James Baker, who's fast.
Very fast.
By 3.5 seconds at Sunset.
By 3.5 seconds.
Do you think Case had a little chip on his shoulder?
Case was determined.
Now, let me ask you a question. Because this is another, and I like to bring this stuff up because we've got these interpretations. Everybody has an interpretation of a rule. I wasn't there. Let me ask, when Case got spun, was he sent to the back?
Yes.
So everybody involved in the caution goes to the back.
No.
How does it work? Because this is something that's been a topic in the pit area. And I don't mean to take us off subject here. I just want to say, Case
was the only one that actually spun.
Okay.
And of course, he did go to the back. And I think if I remember my notes right, he came back to finish in either the top 7 or top 5 or whatever. But he was on a mission.
He's a bad dude up there at Sunset.
He told me prior to, he says, we're of course talking about the heat and everything else, and they're trying to keep the cars, covered so the interior wasn't too hot and stuff for him. But I asked him, I said, what is it going to take to beat Justin? Because Justin's fast. And he says, well, you know what? He says, realistically, he says, I kind of like Justin's car more than I like my car. And we all know Arnie Case drives a 33 car, and brand new car for him. But watching him, I don't think there's an issue about his new car because he's very quick in it. He's very smooth. He can put that car anywhere he wants, and he waits for his time, and he's got he's got the forward bite and everything else. He bides his time. He knows when he can and he can't. He makes some bold moves. And again, it's almost kind of like watching these midget drivers go 4 wide into a turn and not even touch anybody and still make that pass. That's what Arnie will do. He'll either set you up and pass you on the high side, or he'll set you up and he'll pass you down low. But he'll pass you clean enough. If he's got to rub a bumper to you, he'll let you know you're there.
It's dirt track racing, baby.
He's got the two bump rule. First bump, let you know I'm here. Second bump, you ain't moving yet. Yeah. I'm gonna help you move. Yeah. So he's not at all. Neither one of the cases and stuff are anywhere of dirty drivers. I've seen my own racing incidents and everything else. But these guys are definitely top notch. They love what they do. They love going out there and having fun. But they're clean. They're a very strong Christian based family that take racing as a privilege.
Well, and you look at Arnie. Anytime you interview Arnie, he's fun. He's laughing. He's one of those guys. He has a real passion for it.
Very much.
Whether that passion is, and there's been a couple times I've seen him where he's not happy, like any other racer, but Arnie will let you know. I respect that.
He's very straightforward.
He is, and I respect because you always know what you're gonna get with Arnie. And that's something as an announcer, I know you and I both appreciate that.
I'm learning a lot.
There's no second guessing, especially when it comes to Arnie. But it's awesome. But back to the Sunset highlights. I didn't mean to get us off track.
No, you're good. We had Rob Ireland came out. Had a little bit issue last time they came out with the car. He was running mid-pack. The car didn't look good. Rob didn't look good. The car just didn't look the way Rob drives a car. It was mid-pack. It skated everywhere. You had to push one minute, it'd be loose the next minute. It just didn't. It just looked so upset. So come to find out, the scale pads that they had were wrong. They were off. Somewhere along the line, they were broke. So he went ahead and got new pads, reset the car up. You talk about quick. This man hit the top side, right rear against the cushion, and was bad fast. He was just quick, And once he hit that top groove, was gone. Heat race number 1 was all him, all day long. And he told me prior to coming in, he sat there, because I, of course, do my walk around. I sat there and I said, hey, what's it going to be? Get you that mid-pack or whatever like that. He says, all right. Well, him and Kenny are going back for Kenny Miller because they pit next to each other. And, they're teasing each other about, winning and this and that, da-da-da. He says, he asked if it was his new car that he brought out. And he goes, yeah, brought my new car out, da-da-da. He says, Kenny says, oh, we'll see him, Victor. He says, yeah, I know you will. You'll see me there. He says, I'll be there. He says, I'll be there tonight, tomorrow. I said, I'll be there. And so I told him, I said, okay. I said, what is it going to take to be there? And he goes, nothing. He said, I'm going to be there. And sure shit. Sorry, my French. He went out and he's very, very confident, was ready to go. It was a cool race to watch him. So let's go into heat race number 2. Now, this was a battle between Kenny Miller and Doug Lockwood, side by side for the first 5 laps. Miller would pull away from Lockwood with 3 laps to go. And this car, we all know Kenny's got a brand new TRE. And 2016, all that stuff, he's done some changes and stuff to it. He didn't like how it was the previous week he was out there. Definitely wasn't out there for the first race of the season. So he's got a lot of learning to do with this new car. A ton of adjustabilities, a ton of things he still has to learn with the new car. He's made a couple phone calls. He's done some changes. And that car has forward bite.
I was going to say, I watched the video on Moxie Media Promotions Facebook page that you guys posted, and that was between Miller and Lockwood. That was a race. Those guys were they were side by side.
Side by side, yeah.
That's the kind of race you want to see. 2 good drivers, Lockwood, a former champ up there, knows his way around Sunset. Kenny, one of those guys that he'll race you hard, not give you an inch, but he'll race you clean. And That was a fun race to watch. You can go on Moxie Media Promotions and watch that race.
Absolutely, you can watch all the races from main events, heat races from last week. I still have a lot of people asking me to sit there and post stuff from 2 weeks ago and everything. I'm so busy with work. We have almost a 1.5-year old that we're trying to chase around the house, and so it kind of gets a little bit tough. But I'm getting to it, guys. Don't worry, it'll all be up there. Yeah, I gotta have some time too for family and everything else. We appreciate everybody that wants them. We appreciate that we can do it for you guys. So with that said, let's go pure stock race. This is another cool heat race. Number one victory would go to Trevor Labarge. Um, Hands down, was by fast. I mean, there's really nothing even to talk about heat race number one because he just went off and we got some messages.
I don't know what's going on. Let's just go back to the show.
Let me see this. Hold on. No.
If you guys can watch the video on Moxie Media Promotions and tell us if there's sound, Jerry Fonfair, turn your volume up on your phone. Nobody else is complaining about not having sound but you.
So, Jesus is awesome. We love you guys. It's so cool. So the pure stock heat race, of course, when Trevor Labarge. Heat race number two, would be this. This man has Bold Move written all over him. That's what I think he should name his car, is Bold Move. It's camouflage. It has the 04 on it, or the 4 of Trevor or Joey Tardio. Now, when I mean Bold Move, is that Joey started in row number 3, and coming out of turn 4, right to the bottom, and into turn 1, takes a lead and was gone. I'm like, are you serious right now? Who drives like that? Who does that? But that's Joey Tardio, man. He's very, very quick at what he does. Like I said, on the start, he drove to the bottom and out of turn 4, Travis pitch to take the lead and off the victory lane. It was just, a bold move that was textbook. Everybody, came out of turn 4 and kind of pushed up. They're up against the wall. They're too wide. And here comes Joey Tardio on bottom. I'm like,
hey, there's somebody down there.
I'm like, where did he come from?
You know what, though? I'll tell you, when I spent the 2000 part of the 2015 season announcing, at Sunset along, with you.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing. You go to a racetrack and there's certain drivers that catch your eye. There's certain drivers that do things that you kind of go, okay. And Joey Tardio for me was one of those guys to watch at Sunset because when you talk about race drivers that truly have no fear, you have to put his name on that list. There's just he'll bold moves
all day long,
and it's just he is not afraid to do what he has to do with that race car, and it is fun to watch.
Wait until you hear about the 100-lapper.
Let's go.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's just jump right into the mains. Pure stock or IMC Sport Mod main was definitely a nail biter for the front 2 leaders, Chris Frisbee and John Henry. Henry, man, has done his research, watched a YouTube video or something, and has got some help. Brandon Potter, the Potters, the Jenners and stuff definitely helped him. He's a quick learner. He listens to what they say, and it's definitely paid off. This is a man. Both Michael Melton and Chris Frisbee had a little bit of issues. Michael Melton would come out of turn 4, would hit the front stretch wall, and would retire for the night. Chris Frisbee would go into turn 1 and 2 later on and hit the turn 2 wall and would be retired for the night. But I kind of want to jump back a little bit. The person who I really, really liked to watch was Frisbee's brother, Ken. This was a guy...
The 17 car.
No, that's the 00.
Yeah, 00.
Chris is the 17 car. Ken came out, has minimal laps on this car. He's gone down to Cottage Grove. He's got minimal laps on this car. Came out and held off this whole Sport Mod field to win the Trophy Dash. Now we actually started 5 in the Trophy Dash and went out there 4 hard laps and walked away from these guys. Cool to see. Was a great interview to do. Very, very quick. Wasn't as quick. I think they kind of missed the setup a little bit. Dry slick. Maybe adding a little bit of too much fuel or whatever the case was. Just wasn't as fast when it came into the main event time. But still, somebody to watch when they come back out there here in a couple weeks. But back to the A main. John Henry, man, for 30 laps was